is part 2 of our beginner belly dance series. So today we're going to go over 4 or 5 different things so you can add to your repertoire. So we're going to start out with your posture. So you want to make sure when you're dancing that you have good posture. You don't want to be slumped or anything because that just doesn't make for very pretty dancing. So what you want to do is you always want to make sure like your shoulders are pushed back and down. So you're not like this. They're just, sometimes you have to really focus on it. Some people, their shoulders relax very easily. Mine don't. I have really tight muscles up here in my shoulders and my neck. So I have to think about it to make them go back and down. After a while, you'll get used to that and you'll get the muscle memory. But you might have to work on it a little bit. And also, what you want to do down here, you want to keep a neutral spine. So you don't want, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see better. You don't want to be hyperextended. You don't want your butt arch here in the back. You don't want your butt stuck out like that. And you don't want to be too far forward either. So the best way to do it is keep your legs your knees just a little bit soft. So you can see my feet. Your knees a little soft. And then what you're going to do is tuck your pelvis under. So I'm not going way forward. And you can see I'm not way back. And if it helps, you can put a hand here, and then gently tuck that pelvis under. That's these muscles here that are helping to pull it under. So that's your neutral spine. So your arms are nice down like this. So that's the posture that you want to have. You want to always try to keep that in mind. Now we're going to go over some of your arm positions. And the arm positions there's a number for each one of them. So your first position, your arms are going to be down to your sides. And I call this your frame because it's like they're gently, just barely bent. They're back just a little, but they're not way back. And they're not way forward, just about right here. And what you're doing is you're framing your hips. You're framing what's doing all the work here. So you can practice your stance. I always try to make it look very pretty. It doesn't matter. I'm used to standing with my right leg bent. Let me scoot back a little so you can see my feet. I'm used to standing with my right leg bent. You can do either one, whichever you like better. I just tend to go for that one, but it doesn't matter. And you kind of point your toe just a little. That's on the ball of the foot. And so you've got your arms. This is your first position. Okay? Now we're going to go to second position. Second is here. And you see just a gentle curve here. And again, my arms are just slightly in front of my body. They're not back here, and they're not way out here, and they're not straight. We don't want them to be straight. We don't want them to be stiff. We want them to be gentle and soft. And also work on keeping your hands pretty. Okay? This is where you really have to focus, and I have to do it too. You don't want to dance with shoulders as earrings. So, again, pull those shoulders back and down. And that elongates all of this here, makes it very pretty. And then your arms are soft. Okay, so this was first. This is second. Third is going to be right here. And what you're doing is you're cupping your hands, just gentle cupping like this. And you just place them like right above your ear. Just right above your ear, just back just a little, right above your ear. And they're just gently touching the side of your head. And you can do hip movements with this. You know, you can do different. So, again, this is third. And again, your shoulders are down, push down. Okay. Again, this is 3rd, and then you have 4th. 4th Make sure you can see my hands. Okay, fourth, your arms are kind of like a U in a way. Think of it as a U. And so you've got your hands pretty. Okay, and then fifth is out. So you're making like a Y. Again, shoulders down. See how you can tell the difference? Okay, so out like this. So those are your different hand positions. Now you can mix those up. Okay, one that we do a lot is you have one arm in first and one arm in fourth. And a lot of times this is a pose. It's a great pose for a picture. When you're doing hip drops, you're framing. It's like, ooh, look at this, look at this. Okay? And you can swap it with the other side. Do the same thing. Do your pose. Okay? We can also do, you've got your arms in second. So you can do second and fifth. And you can do second and fourth where it's gentle. Or you can do second and fifth where it's more pronounced, more straight out. Okay? So we do a lot of movements with these. Again, hip drops. And you can switch. And you can go around with this. Okay? And you can switch. Again, it might take you a while to get used to be able to turn around like that. But just get used to swapping your arms out. And when you do, as you change them, make sure you keep those shoulders down and back. Okay? And you can go from here and to here and to here. Okay? You can do third and second. You can do that. Okay? You can do that as a pose. You can do that where you're focusing on all this here. You're doing hips, pushes to the side, and you can go the other way. You can go forward. Okay? You can go back with it. So you can practice. Again, you don't have to move with it when you're learning these arm positions. Just stay in place. Try to practice on keeping your feet pretty. And you can stand soft and do it. But I always like to kind of do this. This makes me feel more pretty this way. And so just practice that. Once you get used to both arms in those positions, then practice mixing the positions. Okay? Okay. So that's our arms. Now we're going to go to okay, so that was our arms. So now we're going to go to a figure eight. Okay, we're going back to some hip movements here. So a figure eight, what you're going to do, you're drawing a figure eight, horizontal figure eight with your hips. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to push one hip forward. Okay, it's angled and to the side. So it's not straight forward, it's angled. Okay, so you push it, you angle it, and then you're going to roll it around to the back. Okay, what happens when I do that? The other hip automatically goes forward. So now this one is going to be ready to do the same thing. So you're going to push it around and back. And then that gets this one ready to go again. Okay? So this is what that movement looks like. It's one of my favorite movements. I love it. And if you really tighten your tummy, it's great for your tummy muscles. You can really feel that. Okay? So again, I'm going to side, push around, and of course, that's going to get this other hip ready, and it's going to go around in this way. And if you watch when my right hip is forward, my right leg is pretty straight, and my weight is on my right leg. the other one is bent, okay? And so I'm going to push my hip around and to the back, and then when the left hip comes forward, the weight changes, and your weight goes on the left leg because your left hip is facing forward, and the right leg is bent, okay? And then when you bring it back around, and then in the middle there is when that weight change happens, see? And then I'm changing, and then now I'm back on the right leg, hip is angled towards the right, up this way. And there we go, okay? So just try that. And if you start getting, remember, anytime you're working on a movement and you start getting like, oh wait, you get flustered, stop, regroup, get your stance back. Okay, let's try again. So, hip to the right front, my weight is on my right leg, and around in the back, and then that brings the other one forward. And then around and back, okay? Let me do this to the back so you can see how it looks that way, okay? So, we're going to go to the right. Our hip is angled to the right, towards the front, and it's going to go around and back. And when it does, surprise, that left hip is forward, okay? And now my weight is on my left foot, and I'm going to swing it around and back, and then there it goes back to the right, okay? So just keep focusing on your weight change, okay? Okay, so that was your regular figure eight. Okay, now we're going to do a reverse figure eight. With that one, we were going from the front to the back, front to the back. This time we're going to reverse it, okay? So we're going to go from the back to the front and the back to the front, okay? So this time we're going to start at the back. So I'm going to push my left hip to the back, and you see the weight is on my left leg, okay? And I'm going to swing it around to the front, okay? When I do that, then that brings the other hip back to that other corner, okay? So then our weight's going to change, and we're going to swing it around to the front. And each time you swing the other hip around, it brings the other hip to the other angle. So you're doing the same thing you did, it's just this time the focus is going forward. See, let me show you what it looks like again. The one we did before, the focus was going backwards. Okay, so back, 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 back. Okay, this is going forward, 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 forward. Okay, so let me turn this way and do it for you. I know it's easier sometimes to watch from the back. So let's start with our right hip is towards that back right corner. Okay, so we're going to bring our right hip around into the front, and when we do that, then our weight changes, and then the left hip is facing towards the back left corner. Okay, so bring it around into the front, and then we're back to that right side. Your weight is on your right, your hip is angled towards the back right corner, and you're going to swing it around to the front, and then here goes the left, weight change happening right, weight change happening left, okay? So we're focusing on sliding those hips from the back to the front, okay? All right, so sometimes that one can be a little tricky, so just take your time with it. Sometimes it's easier for you to go from the front to the back than it is the other way, and vice versa. Everybody has things that they get easier than others, okay? So the last thing we're going to work on for this little session is our hip circles, okay? So we're just going to do a little hip circles for now, and what you're going to do is exactly what I just said. Your hips are going to circle, and I'm going to show you how to do it with stepping to the side with a touch, and then you can step and go the other way, okay? So first let's just do our circle, Now this is not an umi or an ummi, okay? Let me show you the difference. Okay, this is an ummi. You see how everything is focused right in here, okay? A hip circle is a little bigger, and it's the hips are actually circling, okay? So you're kind of going outside. With the ummi, you're staying right in the middle, okay? Everything is still right in the middle. With the hip circle, your hips are kind of going outside of you here. See how my hips are going further out? Okay, and we can try the other way. And as you can see, just like with the ummi, my weight is changing from left to right. Okay, but it's bigger. I hope you can see the difference. And one more time. This is an ummi. Okay, I'll do it both ways. This is a hip circle. So you see how the hip circle's bigger. Okay, we do it the other way. And you see how our feet are doing the same thing they are in an ummi, except we're pushing our hips further. And you can start forward and go to the side and back. And see how we're going further than we did with the ummi. Okay? And gradually put it together. Remember, keep your hands somewhere pretty. Okay? And then let's take it the other way. And you see how it's bigger. It's bigger. Okay. So I'm going to turn around and show you that from the back so you can see that. Okay. So remember, we're going to start from push to the front. We're exaggerating here. Push to the front, the side, back, side, front. And again, it's more pronounced than the ummi. Okay? Now let's go the other way. Front, side, back, side. Put it together. Okay? And now you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And get used to changing the weight, stopping in a pretty stance. Okay? Okay. Now, the last little thing I'll show you is how you can move with that. Okay? So, and this is one of those where we could do third and second. I think I showed it to you when I was showing you the arms before. Okay? Let me get back so you can see. I keep getting too close to you. You can't see my feet. I'm sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do when we start, we're going to step this way, and so I'm stepping with my right foot. It's like this hand is leading me, okay? And I circle around and step. Circle around and step. Circle around and step. Circle around and touch. Okay, let's go the other way. Round, step, around, step, around, step, around, touch. Let me face the other way so you can see that, okay? All right, so my weight's on my left foot. My right foot is ready to go, okay? Got your arms all nice and pretty where they need to be. You're going to step with the right, push around and forward, and around and step, around and step, around, touch. Step with the left, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, step, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, step, touch. Okay? So those are some things that you can practice. We're adding, every time we're adding to your repertoire. So you're not going to get it perfect the first time. Some things are going to take longer for you to be able to get than others. But that's okay, because we're here to have fun. We're here to learn. So I hope this has helped you some with some of the other movements. And make sure you're thinking about, which movements do you really like? And focus on those. If you have a really hard time with something, that's okay. Practice it as much as you can at home when you're just doing your regular practice. And then when you come to class, let me know, hey, I'm having a hard time with this. Can you break it down for me? Because that's the thing. Again, you always got to be watching the feet and the legs, because if your feet are in the right spot and your legs are going the way they should, it's going to make it easier for you to get that movement. So always be watching that. That's why I try to get back here and stay where you can see my feet and you can see my legs, so you can see what's going on. And I also have to get better about remembering to turn around so you could watch kind of from the back. So I hope you've enjoyed this practice video, and I will see you again next time. Thank you.